We're getting ready now for our presentation number 3. We are getting into security and getting in the aircraft, boarding the aircraft, moving from Namibia now to Kenya, where we want to welcome Anne Chepkemboi Lenget. Welcome, Anne. I hope Anne is ready for her presentation. I saw Anne's face a short while ago, and I don't know if there we go. Anne is with us. Welcome again. We are missing your microphone, Anne.
Okay.
Go ahead, we can hear your voice now.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello.
Greetings from the entire family of AIU.
Thank you. Thank you. I will start straight away. Personal growth is an initiative taken by an individual. It is normally by choosing a self-improvement plan, by setting a goal or a mission statement that the person ought to follow so as to achieve that goal. For a mission to be realized, an individual has to employ certain techniques used to explore the cause and effect kind of relationship underlying a particular problem. This paper seeks to examine on personal exponential growth, such that an individual can reach their potential through integration and close alignment with their goals as stated by leadership Freck. That you will never know who you might have been if you don't grow. A discussion of the title will follow, a review and illustration of my exponential growth as an individual. Proposed solutions will be highlighted, and the methodology inclusion will follow suit. The background of the study. Globally, self-improvement products dated 2020 to 21 report indicate that augmented reality and artificial intelligence are being utilized for personal development technology platforms, indicating the growth, exponential growth, and positively influencing the market growth as shown below. From here, we can see that there is a global personal development market share by focus area in 2019 in percentage. People are searching information on mental health. There is motivation and inspiration, physical health, self-awareness, and skill set enhancement. That is from a global personal development market share as per the internet. This indicates that there is a gap. People really need more information on how to improve and make their lives better each and every day. In Australia, for instance, the government has permitted a variety of half-priced 6-month online courses for psychology and a number of other subjects, which with an intention of helping their employees upskill their proficiency. The online courses were subsidized to cater for the course during the coronavirus pandemic. Despite the interest in getting information on ways of improving themselves, there are challenges on time management. Personal development products or exponential growth products, personal coaching in particular, was ranked first in the market with a revenue share of 40% in 2019. Prompt feedback was attributed to a two-way communication between the client and the coach. On the other hand, in UK government, the UK government resolved to eliminate VAT on ebooks from December 2020. Due to a common challenge, the coronavirus pandemic, nations, scientists, and medical practitioners have networked with an intention of solving a life's challenge and finding a tangible solution to the common issue. Besides that, the skill market segmented had over 30% in 2019, indicating that people are adapting to personal development programs. Moreover, physical health accounted 25% in 2019, attributed to the stay-at-home or work-from-home policy as a strategy to curb the spread of coronavirus pandemic. Let's look at the literature review. There is need for individuals to learn about personal growth, exponential growth, so as to transfer the processes to all other spheres of life, as opened by Peterson and Wolfe in Welfare in 1984. Humanists concur with the idea of addressing a good life. Rogers, 1961. Psychologists argue that individuals continue to grow throughout their lifespan. Erickson, 1950. A health person is a recipe for a consistent need to attain a certain ideal level. However, personal growth is influenced by developmental, environmental, or intentional processes. Prochaska and DiClemente, 1986. If an individual is not satisfied with their current state level, they tend to engage in self-exploratory to find a suitable fit. They are aware of themselves and their surrounding. They therefore want to make a change in their lives by making informed choices that and taking bold steps toward making the desired changes. Bandura, 1977, opined that individuals who are prepared to deal with change throughout their lifespan are those with high levels of self-efficacy across all domains of growth, such that an individual takes the initiative of making informed decisions on the transition process. Prochaska and DiClemente, 1983. Concur with Bandura, they determined that growth has to be self-initiated, a personal initiative to be precise. The research problem was that you will never know who you might have been if you don't grow. When an individual grows, he will eventually attract new opportunities that otherwise would have been left out. Focusing on self-improvement by either going back to school, reading materials on self-improvement, and searching for information on growth is the first step towards the right direction. Self-improvement projects lead to increase in self-esteem. Personally, I am the fifth born in a family of 9 children. I come from a very ample background. My father was a retired teacher. He passed on. Having lost my mother as well at an earlier stage, at tender age, it was difficult for my father to raise us solely. But he did his best to take us to school. I went to a village day school, which was by then affordable to my parents. I thank my teachers for encouraging me to forge ahead and focus in my studies. I dreamt of becoming a successful scientist who will bring change in my community by addressing the issues at hand. The slogan, "You are what you think," has kept me thinking and acting towards that direction by making a decision to go back to the university and follow my calling of becoming an epidemiologist, having completed my master's degree despite my age and other responsibilities as a parent. Personal exponential growth helps one to be a better version of themselves, such that all areas of one's life will be impacted positively. The financial security is almost guaranteed. Healthier relationships with family members, co-workers, and lovers. This is usually attributed to interpersonal skills, which will eventually make an individual enjoy satisfaction in any relationship. In addition to that, personal exponential growth has significant benefits in that it leads to a mental and emotionally stability. Therefore helps in addressing issues, eventually reducing stress levels. A mentally stable individual can make sound decisions to their ability to critically think and being logical in their reasoning. Besides that, overcoming procrastination is easier as compared to someone who is unable to do or take a move on what they intend to do. The difference is seen when one makes a step towards achieving the stated goal. The step I have taken to pursue a doctorate degree in epidemiology, my area of interest, indicates that I have started a journey which I would plan on how to circumvent to realize my dream. I am so grateful to the partial scholarship I obtained from Atlantic University and continued support from its staff towards realizing my dream. An enhanced self-control is a product of personal development, such that an individual becomes disciplined and focused in order to achieve the short-term or long-term goals that he has set. Moreover, growth enables a feeling of contentment, yielding to an improved peace of mind attributed to understanding yourself, others around you, and analyzing your strengths and weaknesses, threats and opportunities at your disposal, and adjusting to suit the situation at hand. This brings an element of peace amongst your associations. Individuals with a locus of control, Rota 1966, are most likely to believe in growth and change, in that they will psychologically be healthier, unlike those who believe that chances determine the outcome of the events in their lives. Lastly, happiness is, as a result of a personal exponential growth, a sense of actualization that should not be overlooked. The methodology, objective 1. I have to clarify my purpose in life and my vision. My vision statement is to take the lead in improving human health through research. It is my responsibility to ensure that I assess the opportunities around me, such as availability of the internet, my place of attachment at Kenya Medical Research Institute, Cancer Registry, where I am attached as a research officer. My weakness is balancing on time, which has been an issue due to responsibilities as a mother with young children, but I am trying to adjust and not being experienced in research. I'm already attached to Cambridge, where I will gain experience in the research field. The threats which are around me are working full-time as a teacher denies me full-time at Cambridge. People who work full-time at the cancer registry are doing better because of the exposure due to the amount of time they put in. I intend to work on the following areas. How can I capitalize on my strength to combat the threats I face on a daily basis? I take the advantage of the opportunities around me. How can I address my weaknesses to maximize on my strengths? Objective 2. Set clear goals. The objectives must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. SMART in short. What exactly do I want to accomplish? What can I measure? How can I measure my progress? Is it relevant and important in my life? Can I be able to attain my goals? What is my timeline? These are my proposed action plans. Commit to reading or research and epidemiology of cervical cancer, where I want to write my thesis on cervical cancer, incidence, survival, and preventive measures, HPV vaccine mitigation between 2016 to 2020 in Kenya. Learn from my mentors, Professor Marion, the Vice Chancellor at AMREF International University, and Dr. Vera Manduku, the head of clinical department at Cambridge. I shall focus on personal exponential growth, avoiding negative associates at all costs, leveling up my skills, making a list of things I'll give up so as to save the little time I have, and committing to meditating on a certain time and exercise in a day, saving money to cater for my tuition fee, managing my time appropriately to complete my doctorate program in 3 years' time. My strengths include teaching skills, managerial skills, proficiency in English, a team player, and a research skills, which I am building on. Objective 3, monitor my progress in all areas as per the short-term and long-term goals. This will be done by making a checklist of every goal against the allocated time. Take appropriate corrective measure where required to realign the goals. My intention is to live the life of my dream, as quoted by Oprah Winfrey. The conclusion bit. Personal exponential growth is very important as far as an individual's progress is concerned. Not unless one takes an initiative to grow, there is a probability that they will be stuck at a certain level in their life. Change is as good as a rest, and it is inevitable. All through the growth process, there is an aspect of discomfort. An individual needs to have a vision of the direction they are heading to and set the goals towards achieving them. The goals must be SMART. Personal analysis is very important to understand yourself fully as to make informed choices of your line of growth. Personal exponential growth influences all areas of one's life positively. My proposed budget for my personal exponential growth, internet access for the next 3 years is in terms of US dollars. Those ones were my approximations. Stationery, data collectors, transport, and then the references are here. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very, very much. That was a very magnificent presentation. Anne Chepkemboi Langat from Kenya. I really fell in love with that presentation as well. I'm very, very happy, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of this event where, although I do have a clear picture of what exponential personal growth is all about, but these presentations and the last one we had with Anne Chepkemboi Langat have played a very significant role in increasing my understanding, my mastery, so to speak, of the topic. So thank you very, very, very much, Anne. One thing that I certainly love about your presentation is your description of the multi-dimensional face of exponential personal growth. I love the idea where you started by saying that it all begins with growth in general. You remember the document that I presented to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that it has to be more than just an addition. We have to multiply, but and kind of brought this in smaller chunks that we should be able to manage, to tell us that we shall begin with just growth, as simple as it can be. But when you grow in that manner, you attract to you new opportunities. And this is exactly where the idea of exponential growth will kick in, from a very humble, simple beginning of growth as a simple digit, and then getting into the complex dimensions of it to make it quite exponential. I love that point also, Anne, when you said that your vision statement is to take the lead towards global improvement. This is indeed exponential growth to the fullest extent. I very, very highly commend you, Anne, for doing a so wonderful presentation. And I hope every other participant would agree with the comment that I'm making about your performance. As a matter of fact, right at this time, I'm gonna turn the floor to you, ladies and gentlemen, for your questions, your comments, or any type of input you want to bring into this symposium as a follow-up to Anne Lenget's presentation. The floor is all to you. I see, I don't see too many hands up, and this is my hope. That's what I'm praying for right now. I want you to bring your input, to participate, to be very deeply involved, ladies and gentlemen. So please, let's do it. If not, then I'm gonna go back to Maxima, who either has a question or wants to make a comment. The floor is yours, Maxima.
Thank you once again, Dr. Falson. Thank you, Anne, for a wonderful presentation. Wishing you all the best in your endeavor as an epidemiologist. However, when I was looking at your presentation, I looked at the years in your literature review. So they look quite old. And I'm wondering if you were not able, because when you present, would expect to see the slides, the PowerPoint presentation. Since you would like to grow exponentially in this field, can you maybe respond to that? Thank you.
Thank you, Maxima. Your response, Anne?
I actually have a PowerPoint presentation, a short form of that I can show you.
If I may add to the point that Maxima is trying to raise, if you don't mind, if you don't mind, and what Maxima was trying to convey is the idea that looking at your references, your bibliography, your supporting references, to her, they look a little old. So she was wondering whether it could not be possible to spot or detect or localize some newer elements of references for your project. I don't know if you get the point, Anne. Are you with us, Anne? Did you hear my comment? Your microphone is off, Anne. All right.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, what is your stand on this issue brought up by Maxima? What do you think? How would you respond to her?
Yes, I want to tell her that I used up-to-date information concerning what people are doing now, what people are searching as in 2020, 2021 is last year. And I found out that there's need for, people see the need. They really want to grow and they are looking for more information on how they will grow from one area to another to improve their lifestyle and all the benefits that come with growing and achieving your goals in life.
Thank you very much for your response and your clarification, Anne. And to this, I would like to piggyback a little bit and add what follows. I am an academician, Maxima, and this is one area of research that I personally very strongly emphasize the need for updated new references. However, I would like to expand a little bit to what Anne just added by saying, regardless of the topic, we would not really throw away or reject all references, because we're looking at what happened, let's say, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago for people who have not been into that mindset of exponential growth. And pretty much like Anne just indicated, she referred to things that people wrote just last year in 2021. Of course, we might not have had the chance or opportunity to look at all the data that she has used, all the references that she has mentioned. But again, bottom line is, regardless of the topic, even though new references are essential, they are fundamental, but it doesn't mean that all references about the topic are to be discarded or put aside. We need all of them, and in that sense, in that perspective, I do side with you, Anne, on this topic, as I do thank Maxima for her question, and of course the response that Anne provided shed some more light into why it is important to combine all types of references into our research project. Thank you very much for that clarification, Anne. Let's see if we have, you may close that presentation, Anne, if you don't mind. Thank you. Let me see if we have some hands up. I'm gonna call some names and ask you to intervene. If you do not provide any input, that I'm gonna call randomly. Swadi, I haven't heard from you. Carlene, Mangaliso, or Amechi, Edwin Jarufe. Now we have a hand up from Emmanuel Kiboko Ogura. The floor is yours, Emmanuel. Your microphone is off, Emmanuel.
I said thank you very much for the presentation and for conducting this symposium. And it's really nice. It is in the field where I'm also very much interested. I'm Dr. Manuel Kiboko from, I'm working in Kenya with the presenter. She's in Kemri, I'm in another county. So what I was trying to find out, this exponential growth, was it really only academic, or does it involve financial exponential growth as well? And in that case, is it a personal growth only? And is it going to touch the community so that, as she had said, it's going to be public, it will cover public health in general? How much of it will cover the community, this exponential growth she's talking about, if she goes on with her research in cervical cancer. How much will it cover the community? And what is the financial exponential growth there? There is not only academic financial growth, there should also be some financial growth, exponential growth accompanying. That's what I was trying to get a clarification.
Before we get your answer, Anne, there is one thing that I would like to add. I don't know if Emmanuel has eventually missed that aspect of Anne's presentation. And I remember a point where Anne indicated that when an individual grows, he or she attracts new opportunities that could have been overlooked or missed altogether. And there was a stage of her presentation when she mentioned how several other elements have to come into play. The finance, the health, the interpersonal set of skills, education, mental stability. There are so many other factors that have to come in. It's not just the academic aspect of it. As a matter of fact, it has never been academic. What we call academic is sort of worthless if it cannot be converted into the real world. We go to school so that we understand how to apply knowledge into real life experiences. So this is my my personal take on this, and I'm taking a good portion of it from Anne's presentation to emphasize the fact that it's not just one aspect, it's a good combination of everything that comes into play into somebody's growth. But let's listen to Anne, the way she sees it, the way she understands it, the way she would like to respond to Emmanuel Kiboko Obura. The floor is yours, Anne.
Thank you so much, Kiboko. I would like to add on that what Doctor has said, that the more you grow, the more impact you will have, and of course you will also improve financially. And the moment you improve financially, your impact towards other people will, your knowledge and the way you are sharing unto other people, that knowledge will also help them. For instance, in my case, when I'll carry out my study and come out with the intervention measures to prevent cancer, that will save on the cost, that because of the information that people will have, and they will even go for screening earlier. They will see the need of going for checkups. That will save on the cost. And also personally, it will also improve on my well-being, my financial and all the other aspects that come as a result of growing personal exponential growth. Yeah.
Dr. Balsin, your microphone is muted.
Sorry, I just used the shortcut. I don't like to use the mouse, especially for something that is live. So I didn't go through the mouse. I pressed the shortcut, and for some reason it didn't get through. But thank you, Dr. Lambert, for calling my attention on this. What I was saying is elements of our life are interconnected, meaning that there is no single component of our body, of our intellect, our being. There is not one single component that plays it all, that does everything. No, they are all interconnected. And this is exactly what I get from the new response from Anne Langat. Even if we pretend, let's say, to focus on one dimension of our lives, but the way we handle everything from that particular dimension is going to have an impact and effect on other components of our lives. Let's say, for example, we are in a setting where there are some so-called good people and there are some so-called bad people. But of course, the way we're gonna interact with these people will have to consider other characteristics of these people to a certain extent. That someone who is, let's say, viewed as good can be converted into a bad person, and vice versa. Someone who we look at as an individual who is bad can be seen as a good person. It depends on the actual factors that we look at, and the way we emphasize this dimension or this aspect or this characteristic is going to have some kind of repercussion, some kind of effect on some other characteristics, on some other aspects, on some other dimension. So there is not never one factor of life that is commanding everything else. No, all the factors, all the faces, all the dimensions, they are connected with each other, and that's what makes the whole that we are looking at when it comes to that idea of personal exponential growth. So I hope you agree with the clarification that I just provided, Anne Langat. If not, just correct me. And if there are other questions or comments on this topic, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is your symposium. You are welcome to jump in and provide that input. You wanted to say something, Anne?
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for clarifying.
You're very, very, very welcome. So I hope you are satisfied, Emmanuel, Kiboko, Ubua. If you want to add some more comments, if you want to ask another question, or any other participant who wants to jump in right at this time and provide some type of adjacent comment, we will like to hear from you at this time.
Dr. Valcine, I'm looking at the presentation of Anne Langat.
Yes.
And I see a question that she has on the PowerPoint. If she could clarify it, it's how can I address my weakness to maximize on my strengths?
You get the question, Anne? You get the question from Dr. Lambert, Anne? We are temporarily missing Anne.
I think she's preparing an answer, I think.
Okay. All right. We're listening to you, Anne.
Yes, Dr. Lampert. Thank you very much for your question. Your question was, how can I address my weaknesses and to maximize on my strengths? All of us, if you do analysis of yourself, you'll find that you have some weakness. So the point that I wanted to put across is you have a certain weakness. So instead of dwelling on your weaknesses, deal with your weakness and maximize on your strength. Take that time, utilize that time to maximize on whatever strength that you have, so that what comes out is your strength and not your weaknesses. Yeah, that's my point.
How does somebody identify a weakness in themselves?
you always identify your weakness. For instance, if you you have fear talking in front of people, then that will be your weakness. So what are you going to do about it? If you know that you have fear talking in front of people, then you take certain steps towards counteracting that aspect, so that you're able to overcome and be courageous enough to talk to people. That was just an example. When you do, sometimes you also hear what people tell you, like for instance, if someone, maybe you're mean or you're not empathizing on certain people, they will tell you right in your face, and you're able to see, and after analyzing, you see actually you are not able to share some of the things you realize, and then you start giving out, you start accommodating others, and that will really help you.
Thank you very much, Anne. Thank you also for your intervention, Dr. Lambert. It is my understanding that all the participants have fully taken advantage of that wonderful input. Earlier, I saw the hand of Swati Kupen up. I don't know if you still want to make a comment, Swati, or if you want to ask a question, or if you want to participate in any other way to this symposium.
Good morning, all. Thank you very much, Ms. Dr. Valsin.
You're welcome.
My question is not based on the symposium today. I don't know whether it is a good platform to ask this question. I have a doubt. If you allowed me to ask this question, it is not
Yes.
based on the topic.
You are allowed. Just ask the question, please.
Yeah, because I want to complete my degree before June, and I have a doubt whether it will be recognized in my country. My question is AIU accredited by the Accreditation Service for International School, College, and Universities?
I would like to turn this question over to Dr. Lambert.
Because I don't know whether it will be recognized. I will try to check it in my country. Then, because many students from AIU are facing this problem.
What country are we talking about, Swati?
I am from Mauritius.
Okay, Mauritius Islands. Dr. Lambert, you have a stand on that?
Well, you have to check with your country, wherever you are, and find out how you can use this. But a main thing about Atlantic International University is that we're breaking paradigms in education. So we're doing types of education that are part of the future, and that we're breaking from traditional types of education and going into an education that's andragogic. And because of that, you cannot accredit that type of non-traditional type of education that people have had to do in the past. And so we're breaking paradigms, we're moving forward, but now you have to check on where you're going to go with your degree and how you're going to use it. Are you going to be an entrepreneur? Are you going to start your own business? Are you going to look for grant money internationally? Are you going to work for an international business? Are there certain places you want to work? If there's certain places you want to work, you have to check directly with them and work with them and show them your work and let them know the quality of your education. You have lots of options on this. So just by saying someone, oh, we don't recognize, you can still talk with them. You can still move forward with this. So yes, you have options.
And to that, I would like to add the following, Swati. It is that for the time that Atlantic International University has been in existence, we have had and we continue to have professionals in all spheres of life. I repeat that, all spheres of life, which means graduates from Atlantic International University have proven their competencies, their skills, their ethics, everything in between. As I said again, there is not even one single field to be an exception. There are economists, teachers and professors and nurses, all kinds of professionals who have received their degrees from Atlantic International University and who are performing outstandingly well in their communities and countries and so forth and so on, which means the reality is there. And of course, for whatever reason that neither Dr. Lambert nor I would understand, some institutions or companies or schools and may decide that I repeat, for a reason that we don't know, they may decide that we're not going to work with this institution. And it doesn't have to be Atlantic International University. It can be some other type of post-secondary school, which is doing extremely well. And for that reason, I keep repeating, for a reason that we are unaware of, they would say, no, we are not working with that institution. But the reality is for about almost a quarter of a century that Atlantic International University has been in existence. Our graduates have never, let's say, proven that their education is less than anything that you can receive from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and other Ivy League types of universities. Either in the United States or other prestigious universities throughout the world. So this is one way I would like to provide that additional information. Swati, the best way to go about it, depending on the field, your field of expertise or whatever field you want to get into, it is highly recommended that you get in touch with the authorities of your country, and not only ask them what their position, their stand is on this issue, but also try to be an ambassador, because many people do not understand what Andrew Gargi is all about. It's if we go to a statement that one of the greatest educators, Albert Einstein, has said on this topic, learning is an individual entity, which means it's not a school that's going to learn for you. It's not a professor. It's not a government. It is within you. Learning comes within you. You can be from the best university, or so-called best university of the world, and be worth absolutely nothing. And the opposite is also true. So please, I hope you understand the stand that I just shared with you, Swati. Try to get into this concept and see your authorities in your country and ask them where they stand on this topic, and try to be an ambassador of this concept of andragogy, which is the best way for people to learn, because a professor, a school, government really cannot learn on your behalf. The learning is an individual thing. You are learning, nobody else on your behalf. Thank you. And
I might just want to add that if you run into any challenges, we can defend you, intervene on your behalf. Just let us know, so that we can overcome these challenges. That's what we're doing.
yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lambert. Thank you very much, Dr. Watson, for your kind information.
You're very, very welcome, Swati.
Excuse me,
I think
Dr.
we can
Franklin.
move on with Francisca.
Yes, Emmanuel.
Or Manuel.
Yes. During the last presentation, Dr. Lambert had promised us that he would be able to contact the board to see whether the Atlantic University could be recognized in the US. Because when you go Google university in the US, you will not find Atlantic International University as one of them that are accredited. Is there a possibility for you to get to the board and see that this is recognized? Secondly, for the presenter, when Dr. Lambert asked, how do you identify your weakness? I thought one would go through your objective, see how much you think you will be able to attain that objective. Is it 100%? Is it 50% or 75%? And see which objective am I weak in? And then that is how you identify your weakness in that project you are of exponential growth. I thought you'd use your objective rather than what people say about you that have a fear or something like that. But there should be something that is measurable about your objectives as you progress. That is what my suggestion is.
Yeah, I would mention that, let's say you're an athlete and you're training for a competition. You usually use a coach, and the coach is analyzing you and finding your weaknesses. Maybe you have to run with your arms in a different position or move back in order to increase the lift.
But the objective already. The objective must be there before you start. He tells you what to do, and then he monitors how you are following it. I think that is it.
Sometimes you need a coach, somebody with experience who can look at you and say, you need to work on this. And maybe you can't see it in yourself, but you need somebody else to see it in you, and they can help you overcome it. Sometimes you need to work with somebody else too for your own personal exponential growth. Dr. Valcine, do you have a comment? Dr. Valcine, your microphone is muted.
Yes, what I was saying is I fully agree with you, Dr. Lambert, and I understand the preoccupation that some students have expressed so far in terms of the idea of accreditation, but your approach to this topic is the correct one. There is, I mean, nobody can prove anything wrong with AIU. Pretty much like there is nothing anybody can do to say that Harvard or Yale or Princeton or La Sorbonne in France and so forth and so on, that they are good universities. There is absolutely nothing you can do. Of course, we're talking about institutions that have been run for a long time. They have a certain factor of prestige that surrounds them, but other than that, pretty much keep in mind that learning is an individual activity, a personal endeavor. You're the one who are doing it, and regardless of the school you got your degree from, you can prove to the world that you are a capable performer. And when people start watching what you are doing, what you are producing, nobody would dare saying that, no, you do not possess the knowledge. All right, so I saw earlier the hand of Mayan up. I don't see Mayan anymore. I don't know if she has left. There we go, Mayan, the floor is yours. Just turn your microphone on. And we are listening to you. Turn the microphone on, please, Mayan.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dr. For this opportunity to give me and Dr. Edward. Me, I'm a student which complete in 2016 with AIU University. And I have a similar concern with my colleague, Tangvile Coffin, said before. You know, it is good. I find out that AIU is not recognized university in some website.
You know,
when you apply,
I'll mention something from a comment here in chat about that in Canada and the UK and Australia and many other countries, the AIU degree is accepted. And so there's a university in Canada, in Toronto. It's the 15th rated university in the world. So it's very highly ranked, and they accept an AIU degree. They understand what we're doing. And so it's all depends on your country and their framework and how they're viewing and trying to understand the situation. It's at the very highest levels of education, we are being accepted. So there's certain pockets of the educational global industry that still is trying to understand what AIU does. So we are working on that. It's going to take time, but this is the future of education, what AIU has. And the knowledge and the speed and the knowledge and the depth of your freedom to actually research and develop your knowledge with AIU is greater than what you will find in a traditional university, where it takes years of studying very slowly in many subjects that aren't even important. Here you can focus, concentrate, and have exponential growth faster. And that's why we talk so much about exponential growth, because this type of education in AIU helps exponential growth accelerate. And this andragogic method of education that we have is for adults, and they don't have a lot of time. They need to understand quickly, develop their knowledge quickly, deeply, and efficiently. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Very
Doctor,
well
you know, you cut me yet. I'm not conclude my talk. And you know what you explained, the country are quite different. As you mentioned, Canada and whatever, they recognize AIU. Some part like me, I'm from South Sudan, and I'm working with United Nations. The time I've applied, I got it on Facebook, and somebody, this guy, whom is the one who received admission, I asked him, he convinced me that it is accredited university. Simon, if you want, you can apply. Then I applied.
Armand,
I went on after completing, after I apply in a certain job.
Have you requested?
I search in that website. It's not there at all. You
Have
know,
you
when you want to, when you do something, and you need expectation at the end to get something out of, or recognition of it. If you finish and there is no recognition in something, that one is that